What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Brian Watkins, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Watkins channel. My subject today is about Ralph and Johnny are no longer official members of New Edition. It is only Bobby Brown, what is it? Bobby Brown, Ronnie, and Ricky and Mike. They're the remaining part of New Edition. But y'all check this out. They're not going by the name New Edition no more. I'll tell you why later on in the video. They have some initials, kind of like Beth Biff DeVoe, but something a little shorter. Anyway, the reason why I'm making this video, for those of you that are not aware of this, those of you who are aware of this, um, I'm just like kind of blown away. Why? I tell you why. Let's get started. Shout outs to all of my viewers that support my channel, that view my channel, that subscribe to my channel, and make donations to my channel. I am always appreciative of your support because I'll say it before as I said it, and I'll say it again. Without you, I am nothing. Let's get started. All right, I found out about it today. I thought I was seeing things. For one, I didn't have my coffee yet, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know I did not read that Ralph and Johnny is no longer members, official members now of New Edition. Now they said that the reason why is because Ralph and Johnny actually own the name, the trademark name, New Edition. Now I've seen that many times before with the group Climax. They stopped touring with each other and they're no longer on speaking terms because one of the members owned the name. And she did it according to, I watched it on Behind the Music. They said she did it kind of underhandedly, but she owns the name and they can't use it. So they can't make any money. Another time it happened with the group Lakeside. The lead singer of Lakeside owns the name of that group. So they can't tour either and make any money. Um, Prince, may he rest in peace. He owned the name The Time. The Time could not use that name. So they end up calling themselves the Original Seven. And greatly so. It went over well because I'm a serious Time fan. So they were able to tour as the Original Seven, and it did very, very well. Um, and the Temptations. One of them owned the name, but their understanding of one another was so great that both of them were allowed to tour as the Temptation. I think it was Dennis Edwards and the Temptations. Did very well because when I did security for Cobo Hall, I actually did security for them, and I saw them set up, and that was for Dennis Edwards. May he rest in peace. And then there's the other one, I think Eddie Kendricks or something, but they did it too, and it did very well. But viewers, how often does that happen? Where was the success? It honestly doesn't. Now, in this case, I personally think that this is not going to work because, again, that's like, let's see, who else? Who else did so well? All right, let's use Diana Ross. Imagine the Supremes. Well, in Florence, she's deceased. May she rest in peace. But I'm just going to use it as an example. Imagine them trying to sing all the hit songs that made the Supreme a success with Diana Ross and the Supremes. Come on, it's not going to work. Now, with this, I'm like, okay, who of the remaining members of the New Edition is going to be able to sing those songs successfully to make their concerts a sellout when they go to the next city? I don't see it. Like I said, Bobby Brown is a great entertainer. He could dance very well. He had the best producers behind him. He had um, Larry Blackman from Cameo. He had um, L.A. Reid and Babyface. He had, let me see, who else? I think that was Yeah, that was it. But anyway, he'd have been through so much, and I feel so sorry for him. Like I said, he lost his ex-wife, Whitney Houston. May she rest in peace. I'm still hurt about that one. He lost his daughter. Um, what else? Something else happened to him. Well, his health is like not too hot. I think when he was touring with New Edition, he walked off the stage because he was out of breath. So can he sing Candy Girl and Can You Stand the Rain? And uh, he might could sing Mr. Telephone Man, I guess. What other songs they made? I mean, they've been around for 30 years plus. All right, so we could cross him out. Um, the other one, when they made Beth Biff DeVoe, okay, they did okay. The first album was tight. It went platinum. But the second album flopped. It was called Hootie Mac. It flopped. They didn't come out no more. They disbanded. All right, now if they wasn't able to do it then, I don't see them doing it now. So to me personally, it's just a straight up disaster. Now, if Ralph and Johnny Gill toured as the former members of New Edition, that's going to work. Why? Because you got the original formula there. We all know Ralph is like, oh, he gonna sing all his hit songs. Yeah, with New Edition, who did an excellent job with harmony, and their routine coordination was on point. Okay, but again, that was a unit. Okay. Johnny Gill, we already know. Oh, that's Stacey Lattisaw, a perfect combination. She came out with Dynamite. Yeah, he been on the scene since 1980. Okay, I'll buy a ticket. And then when he went solo, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced his songs with My, Rub You in the Right Way. Like I said, enough said. So I think personally that they're like making a fatal mistake because in the entertainment industry, it's a very touchy business. They say you're only as good as your last hit. Okay, so these remaining members of New Edition, when have they made when was the last time they made a hit song? And this is not to criticize them and make mockery, but when was the last time they made a hit song? Excuse me, I don't remember. I can remember the last time they were on the charts, and that was when they had Bobby Brown was doing very well with his solo career, and Johnny Gill had joined the group. So Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced the album. Sorry, You're Not My Kind of Girl, Can You Stand the Rain, Is This Really Love? And it did very well. But again, that was back in the late 80s. When have they had a hit song then? They tried to put an album together called Reunion. That was 20 years ago. It didn't do well. They ended up breaking up again. So now this is like a really, I say it's a suicidal time for them to decide that they're going to tour in September. I'm like, okay, you all have never did this before. Even when you all were touring together, what was it, Bobby Brown and New Edition? They was touring together when they were all at the height of their career. Bobby Brown was a super uh, solo artist. They was fighting on the tour bus. So I'm like, I know that the promoters, they got to be talking about this privately. They probably even mentioned it to them. I'm like, okay, so who is ignoring all of the warning signs that they're going to tour this coming September without Ralph and Johnny Gill? I just don't see it working. I really don't. And mind you, I'm a fan of all of them. I like how Bobby Brown did his solo thing. Excellent. But what I end up learning, viewers, is that whether you know it or not, that his song, Every Little Step I Take, Bobby Brown was out getting high. So Ralph had to step in and sing the song. And if you listen to the first verse, I was like, man, that sure sound like Ralph in the first verse. It was him. Because Bobby Brown was still getting high. Because I was like, wow, Bobby Brown really straightened up his act to do a solo album? I'm impressed. Because I had heard for years that Bobby Brown was getting high. This was like around the time when they was making You Have to Count Me Out and Mr. Telephone Man. It had already circulated in the hood that Bobby Brown was getting high. And I was like, okay.